Okay, we have to talk about the Stranger Things finale, the season 5 one.
Oh, I know where this is going.
And not, the emotional goodbyes or anything. I'm talking about the mechanics of that final fight. Because
Right.
I've been going through all this lore you sent over, and something is really, really off.
The visual of the victory versus the actual rules of the universe. It bothers you, doesn't it?
It does. Because we see the big monster die, it's a very clear we won moment. But the deep dives, the source material, it all says the math just doesn't add up.
Right.
So that's what we're doing in this deep dive. Answering one question. Is the Mind Flayer actually dead? Or did our heroes just, I don't know, destroy a puppet?
And that's the word right there, puppet.
Yeah.
Because that distinction is what this entire debate hinges on. To get why the ending feels so ambiguous, we have to forget the giant spider monster for a second.
We have to look at its anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yep.
lack of one.
Exactly. The anatomy of a shadow, as one of the write-ups called it.
Right, because the show sort of teaches us, you shoot a Demogorgon, it dies, you burn the vines, they pull back. Simple. But the Mind Flayer isn't like that.
Not at all.
Right.
It's not a biological creature. It's not flesh and blood. The key here is that it's non-corporeal.
Meaning, no body.
No real body. It's a hive mind.
Yeah.
Just a massive cloud of, for lack of a better word, sentient shadow particles. Ancient.
So the huge fleshy thing we see in season 3, or the final battle, what is that?
That is a physical proxy. It's a temporary body. It gathers up biomass, rats, people, whatever it can find, and builds itself a suit so it can interact with our dimension.
So when they're all blasting away at that spider thing in the finale,
They're not hitting the Mind Flayer.
they're just wrecking the car it's driving.
A very gross car made of meat, but yeah, that's the perfect analogy. And that's the big aha moment, right? If the entity itself is just dust, you can't kill it with a shotgun.
You just destroy the vessel, the container.
Precisely.
Okay, which brings me to the black smoke. We saw this, clear as day, back in season 2 with Will.
Mm-hmm. The exorcism.
They use heat, they force it out of him, and this shadow thing just screams out of his mouth and flies off. It didn't die then.
It just evacuated.
Yeah.
And that's the critical part. That smoke is the entity. That's its natural state.
So it's not a byproduct, it is the thing itself.
Yes. And the lore is pretty clear that when a host body is destroyed, those particles don't just, burn up. They disperse. They go dormant. They scatter back into the upside down.
Okay, but this is where the finale gets really complicated, and this is where all the source materials start to disagree. Vecna.
The Henry Creel factor.
That's a big one.
We know they were fused. Vecna was the mind, the director. He gave the formless shadow its shape, its purpose.
Right.
So the happy ending argument, view A, is that by killing Vecna, the consciousness, you essentially lobotomize the smoke.
You cut the head off the snake. Without Henry to command it, the shadow particles are just raw material. Wind with no direction. It's effectively neutralized.
But you highlighted a view B in these notes, that is.
Yeah.
Way less comforting. Well, view B argues that the Mind Flayer existed for eons before Henry Creel ever showed up. He didn't create it.
He found it.
He found it. He found this cloud of particles, and he shaped it into that spider form he was obsessed with. But the substance itself, the shadow, that's an ancient power.
So killing Vecna only destroys the personality that was in the driver's seat. It doesn't actually delete the raw energy.
It's a hardware versus software problem.
Go on.
They destroyed the software Vecna's consciousness, and they smashed the current piece of hardware, that giant monster body.
But the electricity, the power source that ran the whole thing, that could still just be out there.
Floating. Probably disconnected from our dimension now that the gates are closed and the brain is gone. But it's not dead. How can it be when it was never really alive in a biological way to begin with? It's just dormant energy.
That totally reframes the entire victory then. The threat isn't gone. It's just locked away. The key is broken.
It's a neutralization, not an execution.
So that's really the thought to leave you with then. If this monster is just ancient sentient energy that scatters instead of dying, is it possible the Mind Flayer isn't gone for good, but just waiting? Waiting for someone or something to open a new door and give it a new shape.